I think the Chinese teams are still definitely the weakest teams out of all the regions. I think it's like not even close.
VCT China has long been mocked as the worst region in Pro Valorant, but Champions 2024 may be a turning point for them. China's third seed Trace Esports ruined everyone's Pickems this year when they not only qualified for knockouts, but qualified as the first seed in their group above teams like Leviatan and Vitality, and they showed some seriously impressive gameplay while doing so. In this video, we're going to break down some of Trace Esports' best moments throughout their group stage matches to better understand their strengths as a team, and explain exactly how they managed to take down a VCT Americas super team like Leviatan. Let's jump right into their first map against Leviatan on Bind, and right away I was impressed with how methodical and patient they are as a team. Trace has a very unique way of playing attack on this map, which involved multiple phases of an execute. They start pistol round setup to split A, but they take their time slowly creeping up their control of the map. They're able to clear showers with the Cypher Cam and work Rays into U-Haul with the Skydog. Despite their smokes fading, Trace do not start freaking out, and know they have already taken a lot of extremely important control that they can play off of. Lev are taking a more passive approach this round, trying not to jump the gun on anything like retaking U-Haul or re-clearing showers, which could potentially give away an opening to Trace. But they soon realize this might have been a mistake, because Trace now have 3 different angles to entry A, and Lev's positions are all swarmed simultaneously. Lev likely didn't think that 3 players were in showers because it's normal for Cypher to lurk that alone, and all they heard was the cam, so credit to Trace for pulling off multiple mini plays for control that ultimately led to an execute that Lev couldn't manage. That round showcased Trace's unique attack side playstyle well, and let me explain why their approach is so different. Most teams on attack will run a default and then make small plays to gain map control in hopes to make defenders rotate. This opens weak parts of the map for attackers to take advantage of, and this theory becomes the basis for a lot of attacker side strategies. But in Trace Esports' case on Bind, they care less about creating weak sides around the map and more about getting into those important positions they need so they can use key utility and finalize their site execute. Trace have already taken a lot of control this round, enough to make most teams rotate around, but instead of using that pressure to find an opening on B, which should be Lev's weak side now, they leverage their positions, which they consider to be a checkmate, and run the execute regardless of how many Lev players are already on A. Ironically, Lev are completely committed to their defensive setup this round to explicitly counter those teams who mainly play to manipulate rotates. You can see that Viper and Sky stay dedicated to their trap in long while everything is happening towards A, and they don't move a muscle until it's time to retake. Trace are partly able to play this way because of their team comp. The deadlock wall thrown into backside will always create a huge problem for rotators and give Trace more space compared to traditional bind comps in the same position. You'll see this wall become the crux of Trace's attack sides that Lev will spend the rest of the half dealing with. Round 8 marks a big turning point in the half. Leviatan have found reasonable success in defending B and playing through showers control on A. Trace has had enough of B and go back to working off of A by taking U-Haul and showers control, just like in pistol round. But unlike pistol round, Lev are dedicated to defending showers this time, and Cypher narrowly escapes the trap there. After placing the deadlock wall backside, Trace hears these shots from Viper who rotated over, and combined with the TP to showers, they can deduce that B side is probably weaker. But Trace don't immediately go for the TP yet. They stay patient and make sure to keep control of A short for as long as possible while threatening to plant or force a fight on A. This keeps Leviatan stacked towards A, while Cypher can re-clear all of their flank and work up long. Only now does the rest of Trace TP to B when Cypher is in a great position to actually punish Leviatan. Calm is distracted by the pressure from Hookah and reveals his location by mollying, which gives Cypher a chance to kill him. But this all started because Lev's static setup in round 1 did not work against Trace's playstyle. Instead of having 2 players committed to B like before, now Sky is teleporting to fight for showers and Viper is rotating early to A. Now that Trace won this round, they can continue to advance their strategy to stay one step ahead. I mentioned that Lev had successfully defended B a couple times, but this was mainly the attempts to lurk or flood through Hookah. Trace actually had success when taking long control, by using a strat where they smoked off the angles from sight and comboed Sky and Deadlock utility to clear Octagon. Trace actually won a round this way when Lev overcommitted to fighting for long. Trace also know that A has been working well for them, as long as Lev continued to give up enough for them to get their Deadlock utility set up. So in round 9, Trace used what was working for them towards B long, just to fake control to create a weakness towards A. You can see Mazino on Sky back out of long early, expecting the Deadlock grenade once Trace sends their own Sky utility up long. Now, 3 left players are committed towards B, while Trace moved back towards short A and are again given U-Haul control for free. Leviatan uses this to play through showers. Even though Kai is cautious this time and throws a cage to defend himself, Tex makes a huge play for 2 kills. But the Deadlock wall strikes again and traps Calm backside by himself. This kind of ropes Lev into a faster retake than they probably would have wanted, which allows Bianc to find a timing to push showers and catch King unprepared. All the Deadlock utility during the post plant continues to cause a bunch of problems for Lev, and they are struggling to win any retakes against it. They have been happy with trading showers control and have found many decent opportunities, but still cannot close out a retake. In round 11, Lev are even forced to give up showers control because of the Deadlock ult. Now Trace have frontside again to throw the Deadlock wall, and we continue to see how it causes problems for Lev. Aspas has a great chance to take U-Haul because he already gets a kill there, he knows Trace are towards showers, and also knows that another player had to be near truck planting the bomb. He's right because U-Haul is empty when he walks in. However, he has no one that can help him proceed. Tex has to hold back sight while Calm is shooting the wall again, and once Trace hear that the wall is being shot by the assumed rotator, they know this is a great chance to retake U-Haul and execute it perfectly with the first person jumping wide to bait the shot. Simultaneously, Calm is immediately exposed to the bench angle after finally breaking the wall, and he also dies. Lev still have no definitive answer for Trace's A hit through short, and the only logical conclusion now is to avoid that situation entirely and look for an earlier opportunity. But this proved to me that Trace really knows what they're doing. They finally changed the pace and read Lev perfectly. Watch Kai's insane mechanics here. He wins the opening fight against Tex and barely spots the gun barrel of Aspas. He's now aware that the next swing is coming, so he makes sure to go all the way towards the wall, which forces Aspas to have to swing very wide to even see him. This also draws him into his teammate's angle, which will completely deny the trade and gives Trace exactly what they need to once again take A. Some remaining questions you might have for this half are why Lev didn't ever try to contest U-Haul. This is because the Deadlock grenade destroys anyone in U-Haul, as we see King get destroyed by it in this round. I think it was possible for Lev to run into U-Haul right after the net was thrown, but this would require someone on site to immediately break the dog up short, forcing Deadlock to actually use the grenade without info. If the Skydog is able to clear U-Haul for free, Deadlock never needs to throw the grenade in the first place. Previously, we saw Mazino try to break the dog early, but it meant that he would have to get trapped by the net, and this is precisely what caused Lev to lose round 6. So Lev was never able to solve the mind games around the Deadlock Sky combo, which resulted in giving up more and more control of important areas like B long and especially U-Haul, which Trace knew exactly how to transition into successful post plans on A. Earning a 7-5 attack side on Bind when you have Cypher and Deadlock for defense just means that Trace Esports have already put themselves in a map winning position. Instead of going over their defensive half on Bind, which is obviously going to be stronger than Lev's due to their comp, let's take a look at how Trace dominated defense on Ascent instead. Trace are running the standard Ascent comp, meaning there won't be any surprises and we'll get to assess more of their fundamental gameplay. In the pistol round, Lev are now the ones playing Deadlock and Cypher and start by running a pretty elaborate round. They first work up Cat, and once in position, they prepare to trap a player in tree. Using the Deadlock grenade and Omen flash, Aspas takes control of tree, but Trace are nowhere near. Instead of continuing to sight, Lev throws the Deadlock wall in tree and pivot towards mid. This is a very standard pattern of bouncing control between Cat and mid that a lot of attackers use to manipulate rotates. But overall, Trace are pretty disciplined and systematic with their rotates. Trace's main goal is to take a decent fight on both sides this round, which will prevent Lev from setting up a good post plant with Cypher and Deadlock utility. Watch how smoothly they rotate together as a unit throughout this round. Trace never have anyone overlap or cross each other, which is very efficient, and they're always maintaining even spacing between each other while waiting for the next piece of information to come. When Leviatan finally hit A through A main, Trace have ensured themselves a decent fight with 3 players. This results in a fair 2v2 retake situation with time running low. Lev ends up winning this round because King took this godlike position in heaven. Trace honestly took a good timing to push because one player just planted and the Sova Dart also didn't ping anyone. This was a decently played round for both teams, and next round should just be an easy eco for Lev, but this is where Trace really sets the tone for the rest of the game. Lev have worked 4 players up cat and start their execute onto A. Lord King finds a beautiful Omen blind, which gives his teammate an opening for a kill. Then he repositions to Gen and fights together with Bianc to get another. Hebe finds a crazy timing to isolate one more kill before dying, and now it's somehow just a 2v2 for Lev. While Calm is planting, Aspas looks for a fight in heaven a bit too early, and once he loses this fight, Calm struggles to find the trade because he's getting pressured from door as well. This round completely fell apart because Trace played every single fight as a team, while Lev couldn't do the same. This becomes the story of this game, as Trace was somehow able to win 5 retakes against a deadlock Cypher comp. In comparison, Lev didn't win a single retake against Trace on Bind when they played their Cypher deadlock comp. Trace tried to take every single fight together, while Lev struggled to get on the same page even from decent positions. This caused everyone on Lev to get a little bit more desperate, and we saw people look for more solo plays like this re-peek mid from Tex. Although this technically wasn't a bad peek with his ult, even if it did work, it kept feeding the negative cycle of Lev depending on individual plays to win. Since it failed, this immediately turned around where Lev had control into a way more chaotic one. And despite having the players who can pull off those individual moments, this ultimately cannot win against a team that is taking every fight together. Trace impressed a lot of people during this match against Lev, and even though they might not win another match during playoffs, I think a top 8 finish this year is more than what everyone expected of them. That's it for this video. Remember to subscribe to see more Pro Valorant analysis, and I'll see you guys next time.